Hello, hi. So I'm in the middle of deep cleaning the flat and getting packed up as we're moving soon. But I thought I'd take a break to make a little bookish video. I wanted to join BookTube as I've always been a book lover since I was little. And I've actually got a degree in literature, and I was hoping to join this community to encourage me to read more and to potentially get monetized. So my two favourite books are Catcher in the Rye and Anna Karenina, but I enjoy reading all sorts of books, fiction and non-fiction, and I especially enjoy history books, and will hopefully blog myself reading a history book on here soon. So like I was saying, I'm hoping to get a movie monetized because since I stopped reading tarot for religious reasons, I've missed extra income that brought in, and so I'm trying to branch out into other areas that can bring in money. So I thought of making some kind of crafts that I can sell, though I have no idea what that might be. Like, I was thinking about making bracelets with shells, but I'm not sure there's a market for that, so let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. I really have no idea what kind of crafts I would make, but it's an idea. And I'm a single mum, so if you like the channel and you want to donate, I will leave my PayPal below. So if you do want to donate, that would be really appreciated. So anyway, in this video I'm going to be talking about the two books that I'm reading and that I've just read. So one book that I've just finished reading or listening to, and one book that I'm in the middle of reading, like I'm a third of the way through. So the first book that I've just read is The Pearl by John Steinbeck, and I listened to the audiobook of that free on YouTube. And the other book, the one that I'm reading at the moment, is called An Ocean Apart by Sarah Lee. And I started Ocean Apart a few weeks ago, and I'm on page 115 of 316. So I'm just over a third of the way through. I'm a slow reader, but without making too much excuses, I have a 2-year-old, so I don't have too much time for reading as a single mum. But so far I'm really enjoying An Ocean Apart. It's really easy to read, it's fun, it's girly, and I'm enjoying the characterization. A man could happily read that book and enjoy it, but I like the girliness of like the characters. Like, it's a mainly female group of characters, so yeah, it's quite girly and I'm really enjoying it. The three main characters in the book, Connie, Ruby and Billy, have travelled from the Caribbean to England to become nurses for the newly established NHS. There is a romance aspect to the book so far, between Connie and a male character whose name is Devon, who's also from the Caribbean but has established himself in England prior to Connie and her sister, the young and exuberant Ruby. It's an important book that's been written, I think, because it reminds us to be respectful and grateful to those immigrants who've worked for the NHS, saving lives and taking care of the sick, instead of being hostile towards such people, as certain politicians have encouraged British people over the years to be. And I've really enjoyed reading about these young girls' first reactions to England and London in particular. This book is inspired by the real-life experiences of the author's mother. Any books in the past tend to interest me, and this book is no exception. If you are interested in the Black British experience, I would recommend it to you. And while this book may seem a bit fluffy, I do think it's an interesting take, and the way that Sarah Lee deals with the themes of racism and colonialism is very smart, as she She deals with these heavy issues in quite a gentle way, not to trivialize them, but to make them easily comprehensible by a broad audience. Okay, and the blurb of this book says that it's a must for fans of Call the Midwife. Well, I've never read Call the Midwife, though I would like to one day. I've never seen Call the Midwife, sorry, though I would like to one day. And I'm really loving this novel, and I'll try and read it over the next week or so and come back with a more complete review next Wednesday, Thursday. So moving on, that being said, let's move on to my reaction to the other book covered in this video that I want to cover in this video, and that is The Pearl by John Steinbeck. So this novel is very good. It's a very short book. I listened to it. I've only read Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck, but I intend to read The Grapes of Wrath soon. The Pearl is a very short book. I listened to it entirely on audiobook over the space of like a week, and it hooked me from the get-go. I was immediately drawn in by his depiction of people from poor background and from a non-white, non-literate background, because I found this depiction to be not at all patronising and almost anti-racist. I love learning more about other cultures, and although this book is written about Native Americans by an outsider, it seems to be written with very much care, consideration and insight. It shows from the very beginning how the rich and more educated, in inverted commas, colonizers are able to ignore the suffering of those less fortunate because of their lack of economic standing. And eventually, when Kino even has the money to pay the doctor for his son's treatment, the powers that be hoodwink and exploit him so he cannot ever escape his poverty. This novella is a parable about how the poor stay poor due to material factors inherent in the capitalist economic system. But there are supernatural elements to this novel. The Pearl itself, like as an object, seems to be cursed, but ultimately the curse of the pearl is a metaphor for how money has a negative effect on the poor, because it is something that the working class does not know how to maintain. Money, that is, not because they're factless, but because the capitalist system will always outsmart them to keep them in their place while profiting from their ignorance. That being said, the book is not entirely materialist. There are many references to God and evil in this book. The pearl and what it represents being a manifestation of evil. As far as I know, Steinbeck was very much on the left politically, and he sets out in this novel like an impassioned tirade against wealth and avarice in general, and shows how it corrupts rich and poor alike. This book is very tragic. So Kino, the protagonist, dreams his son will grow up with a paid-for education and hence will avoid being taunted and exploited by other men. But ultimately we see that these dreams are futile and that there's no way out of the subjugation his class and race experience. So while this book may seem extremely bleak, and it is, the positive aspect of the novel is that its message is so clear and unequivocal. Steinbeck writes with great moral authority that's not arrogant, but instead deeply resonating. In fact, at this point, it's important to remember the book was inspired by a Mexican folk tale that actually correlates nicely with the biblical reminder in 1 Timothy that love of money is the root of all evil. And yeah, so like I was saying, it's not an entirely like materialist analysis of money and class. There's also like that aspect of God that Steinbeck introduces, and evil. So that kind of like reinforces and strengthens his message, almost his anti-capitalist message. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I think the next book that I read will be this one here, Circe by Madeline Miller. So I think it's like a feminist Greek myth retelling. I'm not sure if I like it. I picked it up before I became Christian, so it's a bit about witchcraft and stuff like that, so I'm not sure if I'll really like it. We'll see. I'll keep an open mind. And also just wanted to say, like, if anyone has any audiobook recommendations for me, please comment below, and any books that you're reading that you're currently really enjoying, then let me know in the comments below also. Talk soon, have fun, and sending love. Bye.